Good morning, Facebook Live. It is Saturday morning. We're going to have coffee together this morning, so I hope you brought coffee. I'm tired. I'm very tired. We've been staying up. I don't know if anyone else has felt this way, but with daylight savings time, and it's so light out, so late. I look at the clock, I'm like, it's 8 p.m. and it's still light outside. This is so weird. Hello, Angela and Elizabeth. Welcome, beautiful ladies. I'm so happy that you are here this morning. Grab your coffee. We're diving in. But we stayed up so late the last week, every single night, like 1, 2 a.m. I don't know what is happening. That is not normally like us. We're usually like lights out by 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's been so weird because it's so light outside. Does anyone else feel that way? Like it's light outside and so you're like, okay, I might as well just stay awake. And then your body doesn't really know what's going on. And now this morning I'm like, so tired. I can't wait to go lay on the couch and have some pancakes and relax. But I had to come on here this morning and share this with you, because I keep getting this question and concern and challenge in my inbox, and I want to share some wisdom with you around this if you are struggling with finding the time and energy for sex when you are busy AF. Like, can I get an amen? Entrepreneurs, moms, dads, careers, all of the things that we have going on. You've got to somehow make time to work out and drink your green juice and go to the store and make the food and do all of the things. We've got so much going on and we're not prioritizing or making time for sex because we're like, we just don't have time. We don't have the energy. Who feels that way? Good morning, Angel. Hello, hello, hello. And Shannon, hello. Beautiful ladies, beautiful ladies. So I feel like I have my morning voice still. I haven't really talked much yet this morning. Hello. Does anyone else feel like you kind of remember when Tyra Banks told us way back when that you need to record your voicemail greeting when you are having morning voice? Like she's like, it's just sexier. I don't know. Hello, Kelly. Hello. Happy Saturday. So let's dive right in. And if you guys have questions around this, I want to see hearts, likes, how you're feeling. Like comment at me, say hello. Don't be the creepy stalker neighbor that just like creeps around in the background and kind of like checks in every now and again. Like, let's have a conversation this morning. It's Saturday morning. I'm live because I wanted to share this with you, but it's morning time. And so I don't want to just talk to myself, because if I did, then I would just still be in bed, So let's chit chat this morning. So I keep getting this question. Everyone's telling me I've got so much going on and I just don't have time or energy for sex. And I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Good morning, Chloe. Hello. Welcome. Chloe's my neighbor. She kept us up way too late last night. So that's her fault that we're really tired this morning. Her fault exactly. Not John's, her boyfriend. Definitely Chloe's fault. Just kidding. Okay, so let's freaking dive right in. So everyone's telling me I don't have time, I don't have energy, I'm too busy, I've got too much going on. Olivia, Seline, how can I possibly add something else to my schedule? Or maybe you do find the time or you create the time, but then you're like, I don't have the energy for it. I'm not turned on. I'm exhausted. OMG, what am I supposed to do? And sex becomes like the last thing on your mind for some of us. I know this was my struggle years ago. It was like it almost, with my type A busy personality, it almost kind of became another to-do on my to-do list where I'd be like, oh, I should have sex today, or maybe I should, get myself to, or like check it off the to-do list. And as long as he's taken care of and as long as he finishes and he's good, then we're good. Check, move on with my day, get the rest of the shit done that I needed to get done. Hello, Jeanette. Hello. And it was either that or it's just like, okay, I want to have sex, but I'm just exhausted and I don't have the energy for it. How can I possibly have something else that I need to show up for? Because I don't have it in me. I don't know how to have it in me. My husband has this high sex drive. He's ready to go all of the time, but for some reason I do not. And so the first thing I want to say in my wisdom I want to share with you around this, right, is that you have to make it a priority. You have to make it a priority. You have to. It's not a negotiable. It's not an option. If you're feeling disconnected, if you're struggling in intimacy, if you're struggling in other areas of your relationship, if you are, you're exhausted, right? You need to make this a priority. Sex can actually give you energy. It actually creates, especially as women, it creates sexual creative energy, orgasmic energy that runs through our veins, life force energy. It gives us energy. It invigorates us. It ignites us. It's why we're able to go again and again and again and again, really without a break, because our body is feeding off of that energy. It's lighting us up. And in fact, if I'm exhausted and I have sex, there's a couple different tips I'm going to give you. This is not the only one, so just stay tuned. But if I have sex, even when I'm exhausted, or say I'm trying to get 18 things done on my computer, and I'm like, listen, I don't have time for this. I've got 18 more things I got to get done today, and then I'll finally be able to have sex, or like maybe we'll be able to have it tomorrow. Like I've just got so much going on. What ends up happening if I'm in that burnout overwhelm mode, but I'm trying to get more done, if I excuse myself and I actually have sex and I go into it with the intention of feeling pleasure and enjoying myself and lighting myself up, almost turning myself on from within, I actually go back to my work after that or the next day, and it's better. I get more work done faster. I'm more creative. I'm more excited about it. The way I show up is different. The posts that I write are different, or the messages that I respond to are different, because I have this like life force energy that's ignited me and it's running through me. So you can actually get energy from sex. It has to be a priority. And people tell me all the time, well, I don't have time. Then make time. Make time for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour-long sexual experience. You don't have to make love for 18 hours that day. It can be 10 minutes if that's all you have time for. But what's happening is that we're trying to find the time versus creating the time, or we're trying to find the energy instead of creating the energy, and we're exhausting ourselves in the process, and it's becoming not a priority in our relationships, and it's causing dissonance and disconnect, and we're not connecting with our partner. Every time Joe and I are bickering more, or we're arguing more, or there seems to be more shit that's coming up, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? 9.5 times out of 10, it's that we haven't had sex in a minute. And this used to be very prevalent years ago when I was just like, I don't have the time. I honestly don't have the time. And I know it's difficult when you're parents, and I have friends and clients who are parents, and it's a different ballgame. And depending on what ages your kids are, if your baby is a newborn or your kids are teenagers, like there's different seasons. So sex will look different in different seasons. So I'm not saying it has to be 3 hours a day every day. And if your kids are newborns, that you need to have sex every single day, but you need to make it a priority. You need to create the time and know that it's a top priority, just as food and water are. We find time to eat. We create time to eat. We make sure that we drink our water. We make sure we squeeze our workout in. Sex should be one of those things for us in a relationship, or even if you're single, if this is your jam too, maybe it's a self-pleasure practice, but you're missing the point. It doesn't always have to be this like the super romantic, swept off my feet, whisked away 3 hours of sex. It doesn't have to be this long lovemaking experience every single day. That's beautiful. And you better fucking believe that I am here for that. And more often than not, yes, please whisk me away. But there have been seasons in my life where there's so much going on that it's where can we find time to connect? It's not like, oh shit, I have to have sex, and I'm like pissed about it. It's like, okay, I want to connect with my partner. I want to get out of my head and into my body. How can I do that? I can do that through sex. I can do that through making love. And it's creating the time, making it a priority, deciding that it's a priority, that my marriage is worth fighting for every single day, that my partner is worth showing up for every day, that I am worth showing up for, and creating 10 minutes in my schedule in order to have that on our schedule, in order to be able to do that. Now, for some in different seasons, and I've had clients that have done this before and it's worked for them, maybe it's scheduling it for a little bit. And I know it can take the romance out of it. And I know it feels like not as sexy to schedule sex. But if you're in a season where kids have 18,000 things going on, you're freaking out, you're building a business, your husband's working full time, you're trying to just find the time to like take a quick shower every day. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to try to stumble across sex, but it's not happening, and that you keep doing this and it keeps being this consistent thorn. I want you to schedule it for a little bit. Rachel Hollis does her like 30-day sex challenge. Sex every single day for 30 days. Schedule it in. Your life will change. I know that I had I was reading a story actually recently about this couple that everyone called couple goals and relationship goals, and on the outside they looked so happy, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like I just wish I had a marriage like yours. And they actually came out about it that they drove to a lawyer, and they drove to a divorce lawyer. They sat in the parking lot and they were about to get divorced because life was so busy. They were so disconnected. Sex was the last thing on their to-do list, the last thing on their minds, the last priority that they had, that it actually drove them apart. They got so swept away in their own shit that they weren't connecting intimately. And so they were sitting in the parking lot of a divorce lawyer, and they're like, we were sitting there and we had this aha moment, and we're like, what if we try one final thing? What if there's one final thing that we have to fight for in our marriage? And what that ended up being was, let's have sex every single day for 30 days. And it changed the game. It's the missing link. Why are we not making it a priority? Especially those of us who have been in relationships a long time, and you're just like, oh, well, we have the kids, or we've been together so long, he's not going anywhere. It's fine. I'm going to work on my business, or I'm going to prioritize the kids, and I'm going to do all of these things. And listen, if my parents taught me anything, and I'm not a mom, so I can't relate to this on like a soul level yet, but my mom and dad taught us this, that mom and dad have to come first. Mom and dad and their connection has to be the foundation of the family, and the kids come next. Because if mom and dad are shaky, and if mom and dad are wavering, and if mom and dad are breaking down, then that affects the kids. Your kids are watching you. And if you're disconnected and you're bickering all the time and you're biting each other's heads off and the tension is hot and you're not connecting and you're super disconnected in every single way, especially intimately, because that ripples into everything, your kids feel it whether you're saying it or not. You know the people, you have seen the people in your life where you're like, damn, they just need to get laid. If only someone would have sex with them. Damn, they just need to get laid. She's got to stick up her ass. Because it does something for us. It's a release. It's a connection. It is passion. It is fire. It lights us up. Women, it turns us on. It turns our pleasure on full blast, and we are able to show up more fully as a mom and as a dad and as a boss. And as the entrepreneur, it allows us to show up stronger, but it has to be a priority. It's not going to happen by chance, especially if you are in a dry season and they happen. I'm not saying Joe and I have great, passionate sex 18 hours a day, every single day. My vagina would really hurt if that was the case. But it's the idea that it's a priority. And if you're in a dry spell, it's the simple shift of making it a priority. The same thing you do when you want to lose those 10 pounds. And you wake up at 6 a.m. and you go to the gym, and it becomes discipline, and then you fall back in love with it because you fall back in love with how you feel. Same exact thing. It becomes this thing where then it's consistent, and you're finding the passion and the fun and the enjoyment and the pleasure and the connection in it again, that you want more of it. But you have to choose together. It can't just be one of the partners. You have to choose together to make it a priority. Are you hearing me? Is this hitting home for anyone? Let me know. Good morning, everyone that is joining us. It is so good to see everyone here. Thank you for being here. This has been a busy week. Jeanette, I feel you. Totally get it. That was me last week or the week before vacation. I totally feel you. So the other piece of it, so the time, right? Create the time. If you got to schedule it for a little bit, schedule it. Find your rhythm, find your routine again, but it has to be intentional. You need to be making conscious decisions. And sometimes, if I'm being honest, there have been times in my life, in my marriage over the last 7 years, 11 years we've been together, there have been times where I had to look at it like a workout, where I was like, all right, I don't want to do this workout today. I don't want to do cardio. I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to do my yoga today. I'll give it 5 minutes. And if I still am not into it in 5 minutes, I'll let myself, and I'll feel better about myself of like, okay, I tried. And I did that for sex for a minute. There were times where I would be like, okay, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. Come on, Olivia, get yourself together. Like, get the motivation. You've got this. Like, come on, like for women sometimes, and it depends. Every single woman is different. This is a general statement. For men, it's seems to be just their body and biologically, they can get turned on easier. They're like, drop my pants, ready to go. Not all men. We all have different communication styles in sex. We all have different areas of turn on. It's something I help my private clients with. But men can seem to be like Joe, for example. I could jump on that man right now and he'd be ready to go. Okay. There's me. And I'm someone who like, I am a sensual. So I'm like, okay, the sounds and the smells and the tastes and the touch and the woo, like woo me and whisk me away and the romance of it, right? That's how I naturally get turned on. So there were times where I'd have to kind of almost convince myself when we were in a dry spell years ago. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and if I'm not into it, I will feel better about myself and I'll like let myself go, okay? And once you're in it, 9 times out of 10, you're in it and you feel the pleasure and now you're turned on and now you're excited and now you're ready to go. It's the same thing in a workout. Once I'm through that first warm up, I'm like, oh shit, well, I'm already here and I'm kind of loving this and I'm liking these endorphins that are running through me and like I'm enjoying, okay, all right, let's finish it. Let's freaking do the damn thing. Same thing with sex. Sometimes it takes me a little bit extra of a push to be like, okay, I'm going to get myself to show up here. But then once I'm in it, you touch the certain areas of me and I'm like, okay, I'm freaking here and I'm ready to play and I'm ready to go big. And here we go. Pleasure racing through my body. I'm turned on. I'm orgasmic. I'm ignited. And here I am ready to play big. And I feel amazing after every single time. Right. And that's the thing is sometimes I had to almost tell myself, okay, this is like a workout, 5 minutes. I'm going to get through the warm up. I'm going to get through that foreplay. And then if I'm not into it, I'll walk away. But if I'm into it, here we go. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, here we go. We're freaking doing this. Right. So that's kind of that first piece. The second piece that I wanted to talk about with regards to the energy is a couple different things. One, are you taking care of yourself, ladies? We tend to put ourselves on the back burner. Am I right? And so, yeah, the last thing we want to do is have sex. We feel gross about ourselves. I'm like, when's the last time I showered? Like, okay, oh, my vagina's all, I need to shave. What's happening? Like, and I mean, if you don't shave, I'm not here to judge you. But for me, like, these are the things I think about are like, does it smell down there? Like, what's going on? Okay. And so we don't have the energy for it because we feel disgusting. We don't feel good about ourselves, and it's not about being perfect, and it's not about being dolled up all of the time. There have been plenty of times that I've had sex not in my best, but it gets us in our head when we're not taking care of ourselves, and the last thing we want to do is strip down and have sex with our husband because we just feel disgusting about ourselves, right? So the first thing in like finding the energy for sex is take care of yourself. You'll feel better about yourself. Your husband will feel better about it. You guys will have this different connection because you both are going to be taking care of yourselves. Joe and I have to make it a priority. I get my workouts in for the most part. He works out. We eat well for the most part. We still eat some shit, but we also eat well. We take care of ourselves. We get sleep. We, get the bath in or take the shower, keep yourself, hygiene, these important things that are easy to let slip, that are easy to throw out the window, especially when you've been together a long time. But if you're struggling to find the energy or the desire or motivation or arousal to have sex, sometimes you just need to go back to the basics. Start taking care of yourself again. See what happens. See what shifts. I promise you things will shift. But if you feel gross about yourself, you don't remember the last time you showered, you're wearing this stinky sports bra from 6 days ago when you finally worked out, are you turned on? Do you want to be touched? Most likely not. And I believe, yes, physical attraction is a huge key piece in a relationship. If I just let myself go forever and Joe just stopped taking care of himself, there would be a weird disconnect where we just wouldn't be totally physically attracted to each other, right? Not in the sense of, again, we don't have to be perfect. I don't have abs. I sure as hell don't have abs. But it's this idea that I take care of myself, which is attractive when we make ourselves a priority. And yes, when you have kids and you have a business, you've got all this shit going on, 10 minutes a day. Get away and take a bath instead of a shower. Or put on the sexy lingerie instead of your sweaty sports bra you've been wearing. Or instead of having your hair in a messy bun today, although the other 6 days of the week, sure, have your hair in a messy bun, take your hair down, fluff it out. Take care of yourself. Do something to take care of you and things will start to shift. The other side of the energy piece that I wanted to touch on, although there's a million tips I could give you today, so please let me know if this is resonating and if this is hitting home. But all of us as humans, each and every one of us is turned on differently. We have different things that make our bodies biologically go, ooh, getting wet, feeling hot and tingly. I have the chills. Oh, okay, I'm here to play. Oh, okay, this turned me on. This turns him on. This turns her on. This turns him on. Different times in our cycle. Different things will turn us on. Different times in our seasons of life. If your baby's a newborn versus your baby's a teenager, different types of things that might turn you on, right? So it's being mindful of what turns you on, what arouses you, what makes you feel warm in your vagina right now, in your genitals, what causes you to get that little chill up your spine where you're like, oh, okay, here we go. I'm ready. I'm turned on. Or what is it that helps you get wet? It's different for all of us. Maybe for some, it's that whole thing I was talking about, getting whisked off your feet, having the feeling in it, the sensuality in it, the touch, the feel, the taste, the smell, the sounds. But if there's that big ass pile of laundry over there, you better believe I'm not getting wet, because that's all my mind is focused on, right? Or for some of us, it's even just the touch of our genitals, graze of the nipple, graze of the clitoris, hand on your pussy as a whole. Someone slaps your ass and that turns you on, right? There's different things that turn us on. For some of us, it's an energetic thing. It's like feeling that feeling of the space and anticipation and yearning, where it's like you're getting hot even just talking about it or thinking about it. Or like that feeling of like you want it so bad but you can't have it yet because people are at your house, but you are getting hot because your husband is making eyes at you across the room and you feel it in your soul. Notice and become aware of what causes you to be turned on, of what turns on your arousal. There's nothing wrong with you or nothing broken about you or nothing that needs to be fixed if you don't get turned on the same way that I do. One graze of the nipple and I'm ready to go. It's like it sends this whole surge of energy through my body. Or if you're wooing me and you're speaking all the right things and you're looking into my eyes and right, if Joe's saying these things and we're in this totally intimate, close moment, I'm friggin' ready to go, right? Or it could be so many different things, and it depends on the time of my cycle and it depends on what's going on in my everyday. And the more that I sexually liberate myself, the more things I'm open to that turn me on. It's really powerful work. But I just would start to notice, you don't have to know everything right now. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe you are in a dry spell or things are just fine, or you guys have sex and missionary every single night. That's okay. It starts to take this moment of awareness of saying there's more. Or I want to explore and learn and discover more about myself sexually. Or I want to start to be playful and curious with my partner and see what's available to us. What's his language in the bedroom versus what's mine? This is something I work with my clients on, is the communication. Yes, there's the love languages, right? We all know the 5 love languages, and that's beautiful and that's so important. But there's also the side of it, the erotic love languages, the erotic blueprints of how do we operate and communicate sexually, because it's different. Joe's turn on looks very different than my turn on. And if he tries to speak to me in his language and tries to get me aroused in the things that turn him on, I shut down. I literally, like, my body like closes off because I'm just like, not there yet, bro. Not there yet. And if I go to him and try to turn him on with my language, it's a little bit easier because he's a little bit more aroused by many things, okay? And this tends to be the case from the couples that I've worked with. It's the man tends to be a little bit more open, not always. And then the woman tends to have kind of like these couple of channels where it's like you turn this channel on and she's fucking ready to go. But then over here, it's like, oh, hell no, shut down, hard limit, closed off, right? So it's just us getting to know each other's languages. But it took first, me becoming aware of what my turn on is. Me becoming aware of what are the things. So getting in your journal or just noticing, what is it that causes your turn on? If you are fed in a certain way with certain things, and it might be touch, it might be the way that he touches you, where he touches you, how he touches you, it might be certain scents, or it might be like, what kills your lady boner, right? Are you the person, if you see the pile of laundry over here, or you get a whiff of bad breath, or he touches you too soon and there wasn't enough anticipation built up, and so now you're short-circuited because you're so energetic that you just kind of shut down. Start to become aware of what turns you on and what doesn't. What's your turn off? And start to communicate this as you start to navigate it and play with it. Communicate it with your partner so that he knows. Joe didn't know for years. When I would shut down, I would fake my way through it, or I would pretend, or I would just be like, oh yeah, that feels so good. And so he's like, oh, okay, this feels good. But then I started to explore, okay, what actually feels good for me. And then he can literally see it in my body now. What's my turn on and what's my turn off? And we play and explore and are curious about it together. But we have to have that communication piece. I'm sorry, my nose is so like stuffy today. We have to have that communication piece where I'm starting to show him and guide him in my turn on, and he does the same for me, and we have the conversations around it. We open up that vulnerable, intimate space to say, like, I love you so much, do more of that, or like, what if we try this? Or would you be open to trying this? Or can you please, I love you, but like, that doesn't feel good. Maybe we can try it this way instead. And starting to guide each other so that we start to know each other's bodies and each other's turn on, and it allows things to be more fun and enjoyable. And when you know your turn ons and your turn offs, energy for sex can be created, curated, because your partner knows your buttons. You know what buttons to press on him, and you're able to create that energetic, almost like I picture it as like this whirlpool, like my energy is coming into it, his is coming into it, and it's like creating this tornado of sorts, and we're like, oh my God, and you're both feeling it, and it's like enveloping you, and you just all both feeling it surge through your body, and you've created the energy for sex. But if he's pressing all the wrong buttons and you're pressing all of his wrong buttons, the energy is like this black shadow, this black dirt, it's just like here, it's like a cloud, and it's like neither of us have the energy for this. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try to remember my points, because I was like, I'm going to speak to this. I keep getting this question. I'm like, I'm going to speak to it. I'm just going to riff. I'm not going to have notes because it's Saturday morning. I'm about to eat pancakes and I'm really excited about it. But busy. If you're busy, you got to make it a priority. You don't find the time, you create the time. If it has to be scheduled, it has to be scheduled. Make it a priority. Do not let your sex life go out the window, because that affects everything. How we show up in sex and the health of our sex life or sexless life is affecting everything else. Everything. Your kids, your work, your business, the ability to make money, your ability to be creative, how you feel about yourself, how you're showing up in your friendships. Like, it literally is everything. Make it a priority in some way. Figure out what's going on and choose to make it a priority with your partner. The other piece of it is the energy. And I feel like I missed something in the busy. If someone remembers one of the points I made, let me know. But energy. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? If you are so exhausted and depleted by the end of the day, every single day, forever and ever and ever, something has to change. What can you outsource or delegate or get rid of? What can you say no to? What can you take off of your plate? My friend, life is not about struggling to get to the end. Life is not about the just hoping that we'll make it, or one day our sex life will become a priority again. One day I'll have the energy again. You gotta freaking make it happen now. I don't like to be morbid necessarily, but who even knows if you'll be here when you make it one day. My thing was always, okay, once I'm making this amount of money, then it'll become a priority. Guess what happened when I made that money? I had so much going on that I was like, there's no way in hell I can fit it in here now. It came in me having to outsource things, say no to things, take things off of my plate, create systems. It required me to make it a priority. And I lost years in not making it a priority. Learn from my mistake. Draw the line in the sand. And now if things are sexless or they are dry or things are just fine, choose that today is the day you start to explore. Be curious. Be playful. Try new things. Figure out what your turn-ons are. Figure out what your turn-offs are. Get rid of things off of your to-do list that are draining you. If your business is depleting you, I promise you making more money and having more clients is not going to fix it. Figure it out now. Burnout is killing you. The stress is killing you, and it is killing your relationship, and it is killing your sex drive. I promise you that. So the energy piece. Are you taking care of yourself? Find your goddess time, right? 10 minutes a day, an hour a day, whatever it's got to be for you. I know life looks different for all of us. But if I am not taking care of myself, I don't have the energy, and I don't even feel good about myself in order to have sex. That has to come first. And if I know too, like say we have a date night that night, and I'm coming off of work and I've worked all day long and I'm exhausted and I'm like, okay, we're going on a date night, but I'm super excited to see him, but like means we're probably gonna have sex after or before. So I need to figure out what I've got to do to get energy. And that is when I will go have goddess time. I'll go take a bath, or I'll just put something sexier on, or I'll have a dance party, or self-pleasure, or I'll just, whatever it has to be, jump up and down, do some jump squats to like get some energy going through my body. And it changes things, it shifts things, but it's me being a priority. And the other piece of it is learn your turn on and learn your turn off. If he touches you somewhere, that immediately makes your body go, oh God, ugh, I don't like that. But you just keep pretending that you like it, or you don't say anything, or you don't shift things. And I have many videos about communication as far as having these vulnerable conversations. If you want me to talk about this more, post below, or let's work together. Like that's exactly what I do, is I sit down with you and we figure this out together. So it's figuring out your turn on and your turn off. If I don't have energy, but if Joe touches me in a certain spot, instantly I'm like, bing. All right, let's do this. And somewhere I create the energy within my body. Sex can actually give you energy that you can harness to do and show up stronger and be stronger and more boisterous in other areas of your life. Sexual energy is creative energy. It's our life force energy. It is created from us experiencing pleasure. And sex can be a pleasurable experience, but you got to know your turn-offs. You got to know your turn-ons. You've got to play and explore and be curious together. And the other side of it is you have to communicate it. Your partner cannot read your mind. And if you've been faking it for a long time, he can't read your body. You have to explore it together by making it a priority. Deal? So I hope that this was helpful. I get this question all the time, so I wanted to address it this morning with my coffee, looking a hot mess on a Saturday morning. Thank you for hanging out with me here. If you guys do want to explore this more, you know where to find me. I have my 3 weeks of coaching right now. It's $9.99. Don't know how long it'll last. Just it sounded fun and exciting right now. So it's $9.99 for 3 weeks of coaching, 2-hour deep dive session, 2 one-on-one 1-hour sessions, and then messenger in between. So we can dive into this together. We can explore it together. We can figure out your language in the bedroom. We can figure out your partner's language in the bedroom, and we can really amp this up together. So let me know. If you have any questions, let me know as well. I'd love to be able to address them in future live videos or content as well. And just make it a priority. Let me know what shifts for you when you apply this. I'd love to be able to celebrate with you. And I'm wishing you good sex and lots of pleasure and a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to go enjoy some pancakes now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.